Welcome to enrolment processing. To enter a booking, one adds a student first of all. Enter part or all of the student's name and check with the database to see whether or not the student has been before, or perhaps is an inquiry. If the student is an inquiry or has been before, we can use his basic details again. If not, we add the student information. In this case, the student is a Mr. Adam Gomez. We can add the country that he's from using the window lookup box, or alternatively, if we remember the code, we can enter a code and the system will default to the country and the language or mother tongue. We enter the date of birth and the system will display the age relative to today. The system here is actually dated 2012, so the date of birth is relative to that. If the booking is direct, we may have the complete address details, email, telephone, mobile, etc. If not, if it's an agent booking, we can leave all this blank. Most of the screens in class have analysis fields, which enable you to add extra information that may be required for your school. We will be showing you later in the presentation where you can create further additional fields. These, of course, can be changed if necessary. Student photographs can also be held against his record and included in documents and even class registers, a great way to help the teachers recognise the students. The pictures can either be added by using a webcam or by copying and pasting. In this example, I've pasted in a photograph already received from the student. At the bottom of this screen, the student's passport information can be input. The passport country, country of birth and nationality are picked up from the student's personal details but can be changed if necessary. For immigration purposes, you may need to record the fact that you have taken a copy of the student's passport. We will be showing you later in the presentation where this copy can be stored. Having entered his name details, I can now enter the booking. There are two types of bookings, booked and provisional. Booked is a confirmed booking or enrolment. Provisional is an unconfirmed booking. For example, they may be waiting for a deposit, visa or even a signed consent form for students. The arrival date of the student, typically a weekend, can be entered, followed then by the number of weeks or perhaps a departure date. When entering a school, the system is multi-school or multi-centre. When it comes to agents, class caters for both direct and independent and for bookings via an agent. In this case, the agent has some pop-up notes indicating some action for the registrar to take, as per the example displayed, or maybe the accounts department would like to be advised of all bookings from this particular agent. All the other information on this screen is obtained from both school and agent defaults, so rarely needs amending. Class tries hard to keep to a minimum manual and duplicate input. At the bottom of the screen, there are more analysis fields. We can then add the elements of the booking. We will first of all add the course. The dates will default to the Monday after the student arrives and the Friday before he departs, but this can be amended and there is no restriction on the number of courses a student can attend. I will select the course that the student is going to attend. Against courses, you can add their start dates. For example, they can only start on the first Monday of each month, but it can be overridden if you have made an exception. In this case, I'll accept the dates that I have input. Now on to accommodation. The dates will default back to the arrival and departure dates, which is normally for when the student requires accommodation, but if different, then the dates can be amended. Class handles different types of accommodation, host families, residences and hotels. This is only an example of the sort of price items that can be set up and used. Private notes are notes which you do not wish to go outside the school, which might indicate a certain issue for the student. Perhaps he wants to go to a particular family or be near his friend. The student may have certain requests. For example, he wants a non-smoking family, or perhaps is a vegetarian. This information can be input in the special requests box and will be used by the accommodation officer when finding the correct family for the student. If the student is arranging his own accommodation, his address can be input in the top right-hand corner. If the student requires a transfer, this can be added now. I will add an arrival from Heathrow Airport to the accommodation. This screen allows you to input all the details regarding the student's flight. You may not have this information at the time you are putting on the enrolment, but it can always be added later. You can also add the transport company that you've booked the pickup with. The box at the bottom of this section can be used to give additional information to the transport company. For example, they are bringing golf clubs. You can add as many different transfers as required. For example, if a student takes a break from his studies and goes home, it would mean additional transfers would be required. Now to add sundry items. Examples of these are health insurance, exam fees, books, and excursions. In this example, I'm going to add a book fee. The enrolment has now been completed as far as the bookings are concerned, so next we will look at the Finance tab. This will have looked up the agent record, considered the pricing rules and added the discount or commission as appropriate. Depending on the permissions of the operator, these prices may be changed to reflect a special arrangement that you have for this particular student. Typically at this stage, the registrar may wish to send an invoice or a pro forma to the agent to confirm the booking. Agents often require 2 invoices or pro formas to be sent, one for the grossed published prices and the other showing the commission that the agent is receiving. Displayed on the screen is a document called Student Confirmation. This is indicative of a gross invoice or a gross pro forma for the agent to send on to the student. In this case, it just contains the gross value of the booking, which is £652. At the same time, a second document was produced. This time it's been called Booking Confirmation. This indicates the gross, the commission values and the net value to the agent, totalling up the total net value which the agent is due to pay. Class uses Microsoft Word for the design of the invoice documents, so your own logos, fonts, etc. can be used. The final part of an enrolment is to send confirmation documents to the agent and possibly the host family. Displayed is a list of template documents which once again are created using Microsoft Word. For this presentation, I'm going to select the agent confirmation and display it on the screen. This could just have easily been either printed or emailed directly to the agent. Although the information is from a master template document, it can be personalised, as shown here. This information, now on all the booking information, is retained within a documents file attached to the student, and it's there available to be reviewed and brought up at any stage, complete with any editing that was done. There is also some additional information that can be held against the student's enrolment. We can also keep copies of passports and visas. These are categorised as official documents. Various types of documents can be scanned, but today I will be demonstrating a passport. As well as passports, however, you can keep copies of visas and certificates. With visa regulations becoming more and more controlled, many border agencies require that this additional information is kept. Now we will click on the Visa tab. Notes can be displayed giving guidelines on this particular type of visa. This screen allows you to hold visa numbers, start and end dates, and even if an extension has been applied for. Reports can also be produced from this information, for example, all the student visas that will expire in the next 4 weeks. That completes the entry of the booking. The power of class is that bookings and enrolments can be edited and updated at any stage. You can come back at any point, find the student that was just entered, bring the information to the screen and make changes if necessary. In order to make changes, I have now exited the student, relocated him under enrolments so that I can make a change to the booking. In this example, the student has requested to take an exam, but he will pay you directly, thereby not involving the agent. As mentioned, we are going to be charging the student for this fee, so I will click on the Invoice Student button. As you can see, the exam fee has been included. I will now go back to the Invoicing tab, where you can see that there are 2 selections, Agent and Student. The Student section now includes the charge for the exam fee, and this will automatically be reflected in the accounting part of class. The power of class is that each time you change a booking, the finance is automatically updated. There is no need for manual calculations. This concludes the presentation on the enrolment section of class.